Hey guys, welcome back to another Space Engineers video. Sorry that it's been a bit late. I've been working, so I haven't exactly had time to hop on and make a video. But, well, today we're just going to be working on the base, seeing what improvements we can make. And as you can see, I've actually added the build and repair mod, so I don't actually have to weld all these steel plates, especially. And I've also started working on the piping so that I can have a landing pad, so I'm not just connecting a mining ship up to the connector over here. But what I have done is connected a conveyor all the way to the cargo system, where 4 of them are already built, and if you already look, you would probably noticed that I've got 2 conveyors running right next to each other, and you're probably asking why. Well, the simple reason is, with refineries, they will deposit their ingots to the closest cargo system, so assemblers will get filled up, cargoes will get filled up. But what you can do to try and stop that is if the refineries are connected to the last cargo container, they'll have to fill up 4 cargo containers before it fills up the assemblers. So that's something that I'm going to have to work on, so actually starting to build the assembler section. But at the moment I just need the refineries so I can get all the modules, but something I have done while offline is I've actually gone to the ships and that ICOR base that's sitting over here, and I've actually gone and grinded some components off. So if you want to have a look at my reputation with ICOR, I'm actually at -12. The reason for that is that I didn't grind all the components, I just grinded a few key areas with my grade 3 grinder, so it ground them very quickly and means that I lost less reputation. So what I did, I actually ground down the laser antennas. So from that, I got superconductors. So that's going to help me gain my yield modules, meaning that I'm going to get more out of my ores that I mine when the refineries are built. Also grab more credits, more bottles, a few more tools from dropships, a few missiles, and as you can see I do have some solar panels. The reason for that is I had a lightning storm, and let's just say the solar panel got struck, so this entire side was just cut off, fell, and broke my frame. The only reason it's still attached is because this block is connected to this one. That's the only thing keeping it attached right now. So that's something that I'm going to have to fix. And as some of you probably would have noticed, this dropship is low on power. So not for too much longer I won't be able to use that, and I'll most likely just grind it down for all the components that it has. But yeah, mine is fully charged, constantly working on mining. As you can see, I have made another cargo container because the other one I had was actually full. So yeah, I had to do that to be able to fit all the ore. And if you guys are wondering, have I actually queued up all the components? The answer is no, I actually haven't. I'm actually running a nanobot script. So if I browse my script, and please pardon any delays, my computer's being a bit finicky at the moment, constantly lagging. So the nanobot build and repair script. So with this one, it's quite simply use the build and repair, so you have to make a group called build and repair group 1. So with that, it will use that build and repair, use its building range, and then from there it will queue all the components that it would need. But you need to have assembler group 1 to be able to queue those components. So I've made assembler group 1, assembler group 1, build and repair group 1. And using this script, it runs everything, and every single component that it can see in its range, it will actually start building. So starting with the main components, so large cargo, refinery, then conveyors, and then steel blocks. So start queuing those up by itself, and then the build repair will just build them as it goes. So as you can see, it has made a bit of a list for all the components, so that's all the conveyors and everything, even though it has started working on them a little bit. But something that I'm probably going to do is start thinking about my large grid ship. So while I've been off, I've been thinking about what I could build. So I could build a Star Wars inspired ship, so the Acclamator. I could build a Corellian Corvette or something similar to that, my sort of design on it. Or I could build something else. If you guys have an opinion before I start building it, please let me know down in the comments, because I have built a Corellian Corvette before, but that was fully ion, so that won't be able to work in atmosphere. So this one's most likely going to be hydrogen based, so large hydrogen thrusters. That's why I thought the Acclamator, their little light ship in Star Wars, would possibly be a good one, for the simple reason it has 3 little sections where 3 large hydros could go, or it could have 2 and then 1 large atmo, and then I'd have to put a few small and then possibly put some atmos in there so that it can fly in atmosphere. But I also need to think of what I'm going to put in it. Am I going to put a full-sized assembler with small refinery, or a large one? How much cargo? How much hydrogen storage is it going to have? These sort of things that you're going to have to think about. But if you guys have any mod suggestions that I should put on, please write down in the comments and I'll see if I can put those in, just to make the game a little bit more fun. But while this is going on and doing its own little thing, I will most likely start gathering some steel plate from the little dropships, or broken ships you would possibly say, over near the Icor base. So at the moment I'll just empty my cargo, and then I'll head off. Cool, now that we have some steel plates, I'm most likely going to start working more on the frame of this building. Just before I start working on the assemblers, for some reason I don't exactly want this one to fall, so I want to secure it just that little bit more. So now that I've done that, can do start working on this frame. So if I work the frame like this, it's still going to be covered, and that gives me access through here. So if I find the assemblers and figure out where their points are, I can see that they're all along here. Now most likely have them back to back. there, do one there, and then do one there. Now I've done that, I'll need to grab some interior plate. Most likely just take it from the cargo containers, because then it will just get rebuilt again, and it still stays functional. So if I now pipe that up, means that all those assemblers are now connected to that conveyor system and won't be plugged into the refineries. But now that I've also done that, go underneath them, be able to get access to their modules. If I really want to cover this up, I'll most likely just cover it up this way, and then just lightly cover it. Now that that's done, 3 assemblers, 2 on cooperative mode and 1 main that I use will most likely be how it goes. Now I need hydrogen storage. So if I wall this off, I can straight away connect it from here. Lift the conveyor up, and spin it around. So now I'll most likely just be using standard hydrogen tanks, because these ones only have points on the top and the bottom, which if I was to do that, they would be just sitting this way, which might be interesting. Let's do it that way then. And from here we need some O2H2 generators. So I'll have to make a row of these. Even that's not going to be enough, so I'll most likely have to find some place to sneak in some O2H2 generators, just so I can fill it up a bit quicker. But I do have the cargo, even if it just fills up a little bit slower. I'm not too fussed about that. But something I will have to do is actually get a build and repair over on this side once I know the distance of the other one. So if you want to quickly learn how to find the distance, just click show area. As you can see, it actually cuts off towards the assemblers, but it also goes quite far back, which I don't really need it to. So what I can do, get a view on it, go build and repair, scroll down to the bottom, and then just slide it forwards. Now, it's actually partly in range of the solar panels, but it's still underground quite a bit, so what I'll do is lift it up as well. So from there I click the wrong one. If you want to learn how to get this tab, just press Control and click, then you can get quite accurate to what you might need. From here I've now raised it vertically so that the solar panels are actually within range. So now rotors will be built, solar panels will be built, and I don't actually have to fly up to to be able to get them. The only thing I need to do is fly up to place them. So everything is able to be reached by that one build and repair. But if I want it to be a little bit quicker, I'll have to build a few more. But now that the cargo is actually piped up to everything, I can now empty the miner into the large cargo. If I'm ever struggling with cargo, it just goes into there. Makes it much easier. So, just searching out large, I got the large industrial cargo container. I go to my ship and I can just tell everything to go into there, except for those components which are too big to go through small conveyors, which I'll just have to put into my character to be able to use. Something else I'll probably have to work on is where I'm going to place more wind turbines and building up more of the solar tower, because I'm pretty sure most of you would notice, if you have a bit of experience, is that both batteries that I have built are flat and they won't be recharging anytime soon. For some reason there isn't enough output to, one, charge the miner, run the refinery and assembler. So I'll have to work on that power situation so that I can actually use these refineries as well as actually charge the batteries. So what some people do, they'll probably spam their wind turbines. If you want to make it the easiest way to build, just do what I'm doing, because then you can fit 5 wind turbines on that don't actually collide with their hitboxes all that much. Because it is quite high, it's going to be quite efficient as well. So once those are built, it'll be much more efficient. And what I can do is place more solar panels. Now that I've done that, just do the same to the other side. So I'm getting quite even solar output. From there, the build and repair will eventually build those, as well as the actual frame, so it's not a one-shot kill. Which something I have to watch out for with lightning, because those will just destroy blocks like it's going out of fashion. Now the conveyors are being worked on at the moment. I wonder what's actually being produced. Interior plates. Once that's done, we'll find something else to build. It's not finding anything. Must be just using the components that it has access to at the moment before it goes and queues up anything else. It probably sees that there are components, so it'll probably use those and deplete them before it actually does anything else. Yep, definitely doing that. But with 3 large hydrogen tanks, I will have to build a sort of ice rig, because I am not doing that many trips with this miner. So something that I generally do is quite possibly put a little rig up here, possibly connect it to the base, or get some sort of ship to be able to fly it back and forth. Connecting it up to the base will probably be the easiest way to do it, and then just making a big circular drill. So the way I'll do it, going from the top, so that's just going from the bottom, putting drills sideways on a rotor so it just spins around, and with pistons it will just go down into the ice, and then I can have something to push it forwards so it actually gets more ice collected at the same time. So that's probably going to be the big plan. What I can do now is actually place the connectors to these little holes that I made. So 1, I don't fall in them, and 2, they'll get built. So to start production of my large grid ship, I'll most likely build it off this little beam here. Place a piston in there. If you guys are wondering why I'm actually placing a piston in here, it's for the simple reason, if you need to actually move the ship because you want to place something down or you need to get it out of the way, you will need something to move it. So, quite generally, I'll have the piston that goes up and down, and because my shipyard will generally be on an angle, put a rotor there, so if I need to rotate it, I can. So working on the sort of base frame, it will be long. I'm thinking of singular walkways. Space engineers, you can take things at 40 kilometers, but if you're going just that little bit too fast, or a little bit too slow, it doesn't like it. Oh, wasn't quick enough to beat the building repair. And I had other stuff as well. There we go. And just drop those in the ground. But yes, this thing only has 10 hours left when it's just sitting idle, running the survival kit, so that I have somewhere to respawn. But eventually, where this is, I'll be able to build a sort of base. Build a little agricultural hub, sort of relaxation, med bay, everything else. Which will be sort of fun, because then I actually have somewhere to relax while everything's working. So with this basic frame, most likely won't build the thrusters first. I'll most likely be starting on the front of the ship and then work on the thrusters a bit later. So I'll most likely do an elevated cockpit, which will probably sit around there. Which will most likely have windows there. I'm just trying to get the frame. Oh, built that wrong. Something you will note in survival-based building, you won't always be symmetrical, so that is something to be aware of. Whenever you are building, because you won't always have the perfect design and not everything will be plumbed, such as Captain Jack's series, where they actually built the Dawnbreaker, I'm pretty sure from memory, that's the name. And some of their guns weren't actually plumbed. So you can blame Venom for that one, since he was the main designer. But Jesus, did they have a large construction for that. Took them a while to build it too. But with those sort of things, it is quite a bit more enjoyable, because you have friends and people that you can play with and bounce ideas off, because that's the point of space engineers. Trying to make something new, build our friendships and make it fun. So if you do find any friends that would possibly play Space Engineers with you, play it. I would say definitely agree to get them to play it with you. Because it's just that little bit more fun, you've got that little bit more understanding. Even if they don't have that much experience, it's sometimes fun to watch them struggle. Some people like watching that, but you might get annoyed about how many questions they ask, so be aware of that. So I've got that sort of curve, which will most likely just be thrusters. Because I haven't built my hydrogen tanks yet, I don't have hydrogen thrusters. Yep, that's what it is. That's going to be happening a little bit later down the line. What I can do is place the conveyors, if I had interior plates. So with hydrogen thrusters you'll generally have to use junctions unless you have modded conveyors where you can get a T-junction. But that's the one problem with Space Engineers. They seem to be taking things from mods and then applying it to the base game, which is a good idea, especially since they've now got Space Engineers on Xbox. But one thing that I have noticed with it is that they haven't actually publicized Space Engineers all that much. Not many people know about it. Some people seem to notice it from my gaming funny moments. That a few people do. But other than that, there's not much in the way of Space Engineers publicity. So if you're struggling to find people to play, there are different groups and stuff that you could possibly find people to play with, such as Facebook, Discord, or even using Steam's community system. All that should be able to help you find people to play with, especially if you don't have anyone to play with that you know. Other than that, you could go on to public servers, but with those ones you have to be aware. You could very well get attacked, so that is something you have to be aware of. I'm not too sure if I'm going to be happy with that curve, but that's going to be something that I'm going to have to find out after I build enough steel plates to finish the base and start getting my facilities up. But that will most likely be happening off screen, so I'll hopefully have all this built. And then next time we should be able to build that drill rig. See how I go with that, see if I remember how I built my last one. That seemed to get like thousands of kilograms of ice. But something I'll definitely need is iron. So what I'll need to do is do a whole bunch of mining. But now that I got cargo, I can actually just leave it here. Even though it's working on the basic refinery, it'll still do its job. But eventually I'll have to try and make enemies with someone. Or maybe not. Maybe add in some Reavers. See if they'll attack me. I'll have to get some weapon systems up. But yeah, there's the I-Core base, that little antenna dish. Using their laser antennas, I managed to get all those superconductors, took its reactor. Most of it was damaged, so most of the components and such were just lying around. Wonder how this base is doing. Crash ship. It's always funny seeing the stations with floating grids such as the wind turbines, and they're just still working but not supplying anything to the base. It's always funny. But if you have a pure iron deposit, such as this one, just watch how quickly the cargo gets filled up. Once you're using 3 drills or so, they'll pick up a certain amount, and then my cargo's already filled, and now I'm just filling up the drills. Some people might actually find mining therapeutic. I just find it very repetitive, so I generally try and grind stuff down. Too fast. Grinding them down means that I have all the components, but one thing that I can't do is fly up to these SCMS or SPRT bases in atmosphere now, because they actually put an update in, so using mass blocks they made an inhibitor field, so now you can't even fly up to them because you'd have to aim it perfectly, but then you're sitting duck to their Gatling guns. But yeah, once we build this ship, we should be able to do most things that we might need to do, so I'll most likely have to build a base up in space so that I don't know, constantly have to come down back to here. But something I will have to put onto it is a jump drive, because I ain't gonna be just gliding everywhere. And I'll have to find some uranium at some point, because if I try and run on hydro engines, I'll need a lot of tanks to try and run the thrusters plus the engines. All things that need to be thought about when playing Space Engineers. Always fun. But if you guys want to watch any other series as well, if you quite enjoy Space Engineers and you want to watch a few other people, I would probably recommend Captain Jack. He's got his sort of playthrough series, or you've got people such as Wasted Space, you've got Splitsy. Splitsy's actually quite good at explaining how to play the game. He's quite technical when it comes to Space Engineers, so he uses hinges, rotors, and he does a few of his own little contraptions. You've also got the XP gamers, so Captain Shack. Those guys are quite good. So I wouldn't actually mind playing with them at some point, but I'm just a standard gamer. I'm not probably what they're looking for to play with. But it would always be fun trying to see what type of playstyle they have off camera. Wouldn't everyone want to know? But I'll keep building this. And see what happens, because everything's slowly being built. Just getting annoyed that these refineries aren't being done. It's actually being worked on. Ah, power cells. It's working on my batteries. Ah, I have another battery. Fully depleted very soon. So soon I should have batteries that I can charge to run everything. Very soon, very soon. So what do you guys think I should work on? Put in the mods such as Reavers, so I possibly have to build up some turrets, build up some defenses, build up some little bases with wind turbines to power themselves with little Gatling turrets with ammunition in them, just to defend me. But what do you think I should do while I'm here on Earth? Building what I need to survive. And what I should possibly do once I get up into space. Should I try and do little drop ships that I would take down to planets instead of taking the big ship? Or try and build a space station up there, which I can use that to move around, build some larger ships. What do you guys think I should do? I'll keep working on the base off camera and seeing what I can improve on, see if I can actually get most of the steel plate work done. Intergalactic Alliance. The Thunderhawk. Control drone. Oh jeez, he's falling. Let's go have a look at that. Oh, they're going for IMDC. My question is, are they capable of flying in atmosphere? Because they seem to be dropping. Nope, they're going back up. That Thunderhawk ain't gonna be lasting long against that base. Poof. He's gone. Possibly ran into the shields, if it has any. What's this control drone? Oh jeez. This thing's cooked. You ain't gonna be helping out very much, are you? Lost most of your thrust. Wonder what this ship looks like. Let's check out this base real quick, see if it has a shield generator on it, see if that's what killed it or did it just blow up. Nope, it doesn't have a shield generator on it. Interesting. What's it firing at? Firing on everything it can. It seems like. What's the freighter look like? It's always fun to get a quick look at these ships and how other people design them. And then once you've got that idea in your head. Ooh, it's a Keen ship. Clean armor. Large cargo at the front. 3 large cargoes. Atmospheric based. 2 large atmos. Jesus. If you managed to capture this thing, you'd pretty much have tons of components. It's got an assembler. Ooh. You won't allow me in the crew quarters. How dare you? No 2H2 generators, battery. Oh, this. I don't understand this space. Oh, it's got a jump drive too. And an exterior landing pad. Might let me onto the bridge. Nose. What's it selling? Canvas, so basic component sort of thing. And it's buying ingots. Uranium 92,000 credits, Jesus. Well, I got 10,000, I got 50,000 back at base. Too bad this thing doesn't have an ATM. $92,000 for a piece of uranium. Jeez. There's this I could do myself. What I really want is the ship. So IGAL. What's my reputation with them? Because I might want to steal this. Intergalactic Alliance. I'm not too sure if I want to fight these guys. This is the first time I've seen them. It has a nice ship. It has a full medical bay. Plus a full-size assembler and a jump drive. Which if I really want to, I could put onto that other ship that we're building. That's carbon fiber armor. It's got O2H2 generators. It's got some detailing in it. What's that? Another O2H2. What do I want to do? But I think I'll most likely wrap it up here. So what do you guys think I should do? Should I try and steal the ship? This is most likely what I'm going to do. Because this is a nice ship. It'll get me a lot of components to build my actual ship. And that's the bridge right there. It comes with a jet gravity generator too. Oh, it's a nice design. Putting the windows near the atmo thrusters. Oh, it's got a tank too. No, it's got 2 tanks. Jeez. Be a lucky time if we manage to get this thing. But let me know down in the comments what you think I should do. And I'll keep working on the base. I'll most likely capture this. Just because I can. And components. But I'll most likely see you guys in the next one. See you later, everybody.